Wyatt, thanks so much for doing this. This is the night after a game against the Seattle Kraken. Big comeback by the Dallas Stars, sending it into overtime and Adam Larsson. But in the process, you scored another goal. So as we record this podcast, you've now scored 21 goals in the NHL in your rookie season. Did you have a goal in mind at the beginning of the season when you made the Stars, like, I'm going to score 15 goals, I'm going to score 20 goals, I'm going to score 30 goals? Did you have any of that in your mind?
Not really, no. I mean, going into camp, the goal was just to make the team. Yeah. And then after that, the first 9 games were kind of just prove myself and prove I can help the team and be here for, the rest of the games. And then after that, I kind of just overall my goal was just to kind of be a player that can help impact the team, help the team win. And I didn't really kind of look too much into the numbers or kind of make kind of specific goals on, how many goals I want to score, how many points. It was just kind of more I wanted to be an impactful player and, help the team win. You
have been. And I wondered too, back in training camp, so I think everybody in the OHL, certainly in Windsor, were wondering, like, okay, like Spitfire's getting the kid back, like what's happening here? At what point during camp did you think, I really have a shot at making this team? I know I want to make this team, but now I really think I have a shot at it.
I think kind of throughout camp, I think I kind of, felt good with, kind of how I was playing throughout camp, throughout the exhibition games. I think kind of as the camp went on and you kind of, you try not to look into kind of the rosters that are being put out for exhibition games and stuff, but
so you don't read into any of that stuff? You don't make yourself paranoid or freak out about rosters?
Yes and no. You kind of can see it and you can kind of make some guesses. So I think kind of through that, I kind of made a few guesses, but obviously you don't know what they're, the people are thinking who make those decisions. And I think at the end of the day, I just kind of tried to just any chance I got, tried to, make the most of it and tried my best not to really look into really anything and just kind of play my game and see how it goes.
Who was your first phone call after you made the team?
My parents. Just kind of, they were the first phone call I made, and then after that it was sister, brother. Yeah. Just calling my family, letting them know it was a pretty cool moment just to kind of be able to call them right after.
Who cried?
Probably everyone. It was
you?
Well, it was pretty emotional. Like it was. It's kind of it's what you dream of. Especially me growing up in Toronto. That's what you're around for. My whole life, just hockey, playing in the NHL. So when I got that phone call from Jim Nill, it was pretty special, pretty emotional.
What did he say? What can you remember?
I think he just kind of told me that I made the team and I was on the opening night roster. I think he kind of talked about how it was my camp that really helped me push me forward to be in that position. It's kind of just a bit of a whirlwind. It was kind of blacking out, just crazy emotions. So I don't remember exactly, but I just know he just kind of let me know, what was going on, and it was just so exciting, so happy.
At what point in your minor hockey career, 'cause you played Marlboros, you played with the Marlies all the way up. At what point did you think that this was going to be like that you had a shot at like a career in hockey? This wasn't just a game. I wasn't just going to have fun with my buddies, but like, was there a point where you said, you know what, this might be a job, a career, my life? Was there a certain point? Was there one magical year?
Not really. Growing up when you're a kid, you kind of just think, I'm going to play in the NHL. Like, you don't really know. You don't know how tough it is to make it. You just kind of think, I'm good. I'm gonna play in the NHL, and I think my minor midget year, once we kind of got to the OHL draft, close to the OHL draft, and I kind of realized that I was gonna have a chance to get drafted pretty high to the OHL and play in the OHL as a 16-year-old. I think that's when I kind of maybe thought, this might actually be a possibility rather than just kind of being a young kid just dreaming of playing in the NHL and just thinking, that's just kind of what's gonna happen. So I think it was probably my draft year where it was kind of, a lot older and a lot kind of closer to that goal of playing in the NHL.
In in your last year in Windsor, you're coached by Marc Savard. And I spoke to Savard this morning, and I said, I was asking about you, obviously. And he said, here's how I feel, and here's how I felt about coaching Wyatt Johnston. I wrote it down. I'll read it to you. I can put him on the ice and go sit in the coach's office. Like, not a care. Like, I put Wyatt Johnston on the ice. Everything's fine. What do you think of when you hear that from your former coach, Marc Savard? It's a pretty accomplished NHLer.
I mean, that feels pretty good. It's definitely some really nice things to say. And, yeah, I mean, he was awesome for me. It was only 1 year that, he's my coach, but he was amazing. He, helped me so much. He gave me, every opportunity to succeed. And, I think he's definitely a really big part of, me, being able to make the NHL roster this year. Mm-hmm. So that definitely means a lot, having something like that said from him.
So when I say Marc Savard and the sock, the tape job, was that from Marc Savard? So when I mentioned it, he goes, oh yeah, he took the sock, like my tape job, all the way, heel to toe, the sock.
Yeah, well, I think, you can kind of see online, Savvy is, he likes his tape jobs, he likes to tape sticks. So, definitely a little bit of inspiration from him. He likes to do a bunch of kind of fun things, and I kind of took a little bit off of him, just trying a bunch of random tape jobs from him. And I think he might be the guy who started doing the sock, and I think he was the first guy to do it. So I have to give some credit to him.
What did he teach you? I mean, Savard had so many skills that players love. Mm-hmm. Like there's like skills like people like me or other hockey fans will look at and go like, wow, this guy's good. And then there are plays that, like when I talked to, I remember talking to Jason York, who played with Savard in Boston. And we were talking about him having, like Savard was probably better than anybody else at taking hard rims on his backhand, mm-hmm. spinning around and firing. And because of Savard, it's a sauce pass, firing a pass to the slot like seamlessly. Like those plays that players look at and go like, oh, man. Yeah. Like, what were some of those things that Marc Savard taught you? Like the hockey players play?
It's just a number. Like it's like the little things that, day in, day out, you kind of pick up and learn from him. And then, looking back, it's just kind of taught me a bunch of things that it just kind of seems second nature to me now. Mm-hmm. He's obviously was such a skilled player, and you see kind of in practice playing 3-on-3 and stuff like that, just kind of how smart he is, how good his hands are, and just kind of the plays he makes. So I think just a number of the little things in the game, just kind of little plays that, I've been really able to pick up from him.
When he played in the NHL, by the way, he was incapable of making a pass along the ice. Everything was a sauce pass. He still like that when you did 3-on-3 with him? Yeah. Like every pass.
Yeah. He loves the saucer pass. He's kind of perfected it. Lands perfectly always. But, he's obviously amazing offensive player, and he definitely kind of helped me help my offensive game a lot.
You mentioned your mom and dad, Margot and Chuck. I want to ask you about your sister. Captain at Queens?
Yeah.
Tell us about your sister. Accomplished hockey player.
Yeah, she played
Quinn, right?
Yeah, Quinn. So she's 3 years older than me. And we just kind of both grew up playing hockey. That was kind of our life growing up. We both played hockey, loved it. Always out on the outdoor rinks, playing mini sticks, playing on our backyard rink. Yeah. We were just really competitive. We kind of pushed each other growing up, and she kind of moved on to play hockey at Queen's University, and she was a captain there. So it's pretty cool to see kind of what she's been able to accomplish and throughout her hockey career, and she's definitely helped me a lot in mine.
How she helped you?
I think just the competitiveness. Just playing games in our backyard. She likes to keep me humble and kind of make sure I don't get too cocky or anything. And she just, I think the competitive, just kind of playing games against her growing up, and none of us like losing. We're both really competitive. So whenever we were playing anything, we always wanted to win. So got a little heated growing up, but I think just the competitiveness and just wanting to win, and just kind of competing in, everything we did as kids.
There's a lot of elements of your game that are real good, obviously, and a lot of people focus on the goal scoring, and that's been remarkable in your rookie season, as we mentioned off the top. There's a couple of other things about your game that really looks mature. One, you're always in the right place. I don't know if that's instinct, hockey sense, just from playing for so long. I don't know, and we saw this in the goal last night. I mean, you're in the perfect spot for that pass as it squirts out to you. Where does that come from for you? Like, I know it's hard to ask, like, where do you get your hockey sense from? But, like, you're always in the right spot, it seems, Wyatt.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a number of things. I think, one thing's just watching video, just watching my shifts, watching other people's shifts, learning from, different guys on, just kind of where, the open ice is and finding different spots. So I think there's that. I think there's just kind of adjusting the NHL game. I think as the season's gone on, I've been able to just kind of learn where the open spaces are and learn where, I can get open and put myself in this position to get the puck. And there's that. And then just kind of learning from guys, obviously Joe Pavelski. He always seems to be in the right spot. And
yeah, he's kind of good.
He, I think just learning from him, watching him, he's definitely helped a lot. And then I think some has just kind of been the way I play. I think I just like to, use my brain when I play and just kind of read the ice, try to see the ice well. So I think that's kind of helped a lot.
It's like the puck follows you. Like it really does seem that way. Now, there's one other thing that I think a lot of us look at in your game, and that is the ability to strip pucks. Like, you do a really good job, and we saw it in Windsor, and we're seeing it with the Dallas Stars as well. Datsuk was always the master. Like, he was the king of stripping pucks. Where does it come from for you? And what would you say? Remember, one of my kids had one of their hockey instructors would always talk about, like, when you're lifting a stick, always make sure you lift it at the heel so your blade is right there with the puck. Don't lift it high on the shaft, etc. When it comes to stripping pucks, what's the Wyatt Johnston secret?
I really don't know. I think that's something that I've kind of always been able to kind of do growing up. I think a lot of it's just, I think, just kind of the hand-eye and the timing of it, and just kind of reading where, guys kind of have their stick if they're kind of trying to protect it out wide. That can maybe put them in a more vulnerable position. I think just kind of learning and adjusting. I don't really know. I think just something that I just kind of picked up along the way of playing hockey. And I think one thing that's maybe helped is just playing on outdoor rinks as a kid all the time. And there's just a million kids out there on a small ice surface. So you kind of get used to kind of having to lift sticks and pick pucks off of guys and stuff like that. You're
great at it. You live with the Pavelskis. I spoke to Pete DeBoer yesterday, and he talked about, him and Steve Spott said this is probably the right combination.
I mean, there's no better mentor for a young player, rather than living on his own. I can't speak for Wyatt, but from what I understand, he hadn't done a lot of cooking for himself. He hadn't done a lot of cleaning for himself. I'm not sure he paid a lot of bills. And talking to Pav, I think it's been a tutorial, both as a professional hockey player, but as a lifestyle too off the ice. How when do you leave for the rink? What time do you eat? How do you eat? When do you go to bed? How do we travel? All those things. I think Wyatt Johnston's going to look back after an unbelievably exceptional career and go, boy, I was really fortunate to have that year with Joe and Sarah Pavelski.
How's that been for you?
It's been awesome. The Pavelski family, they're amazing. They've, just kind of made me feel comfortable at home, made me just kind of make Dallas another home for me. So they've been amazing, just making me feel comfortable, giving me, kind of everything I need to just kind of be comfortable at home. And then obviously Joe is, I think we both think he's in a Hall of Famer. So
he's incredible.
Just one thing as a player, he's obviously unbelievable. Then also as a person, he's been amazing. He has helped me learn so much, and it's been a ton of fun living with them, especially with their son Nate. He's awesome.
Well, if you're gonna learn to be a pro, I mean, you kind of got a great one.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of blessed that way. Like if you're learning how to be there's more to, this. Anyone who listens to this podcast knows this. There's more to being a professional than just what happens during the game.
Yeah.
It's like a whole lifestyle. Yeah. What are some of the things that, as you transition from being, an elite junior player with the Windsor Spitfires to being a pro with the Dallas Stars, what are some of the things that the Pavelski family, specifically Joe, has helped you with?
So many things.
Paying bills,
yeah,
cooking.
Yeah. Well, I think Joe, he, obviously you can see how well he's performing at his age, and I don't think it's a fluke. I think it's it's due to just kind of his dedication to just the way he treats his body, the kind of stuff he does off the ice. Just a number of just kind of recovery techniques he uses in different things. And, we've talked about a lot, just different tools you can use to help recover and just kind of using just different things, doing different tests to kind of see, what your body needs and what you need to recover. And, he obviously taught me a lot about kind of recovery, which I think is obviously a really important part of, being able to play well every night.
Joe Pavelski strikes me as, one of these people that a lot of us really don't like because he's good at everything. Is that true? We've all seen him play hockey. If anyone's seen him golf, I mean, it's elite. Is Joe Pavelski good at everything?
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Have you seen him struggle at anything?
No, I don't think so. Obviously hockey, unbelievable. Golf, great golf player. Playing basketball in the backyard, doesn't miss a shot. I don't know if there's anything that he's not good at. It's impressive.
In Windsor, they still talk about that game against Sarnia. I think you had 6, maybe 7 points, and it was like the puck was on your blade the whole game. Like it seemed like every time you're on the ice, like the puck was on your blade for the entirety of the shift. Was that the best game you ever played?
Yeah, I think it definitely would be one of them. I think a number of things just kind of went right that night. I think one, I've had a chance to play with some pretty good teammates in Windsor, so definitely helps when you have players that can put the puck in the back of the net. And it just kind of seemed like everything was going my way that night. Just kind of the bounces, the puck was just finding me. It was a pretty special night, and just kind of everything seemed to be going well.
We're talking about Joe Pavelski. I'm curious about some other players on this team, because we look at Dallas and we say there's a number of windows here for the Dallas Stars. You're becoming a really huge part of this, because as much as there are, the Joe Pavelskis and the Jamie Benns and the Tyler Seguin, some of the more veteran players, Ryan Suter on the team as well, there's this healthy mix of, older veterans and younger high-end players, yourself, Jason Robertson, Rupe Hins, Miro Heiskanen, more on the horizon with Stankoven and Borik, etc. Who stands out to you, like on a game in, game out, practice in, practice out basis? It's a pretty sweeping question, but are there like a few guys or maybe a few skills or things that you've seen where you're like, wow, that's the level I got to get to?
I mean, it's a really hard question, because every one of them has, aspects that they really stand out in. And obviously each one of those guys that you mentioned are obviously unbelievable players. And I think with Heiskanen, he's just so effortless. He can just move around the ice. I was talking to, our skating coach, Luke Chilcott, and he was kind of talking about how he kind of looks like Paul Coffey skating up the ice, just kind of so effortless.
Few strides and glide. Yeah.
And I mean, Paul Coffey was my coach for 4 years in minor hockey, so I got to see him kind of skate around the ice, and I definitely see some similarities. How just effortless.
He just coasts through guys. I mean, I watched his whole career. He coasted through. It was amazing. He'd gallop behind the net and just start coasting through everybody. It was remarkable.
Yeah, it's impressive. I think Heiskanen's really impressed me. And then Robertson's obviously, you just kind of see what he does on the ice. There's not many games that he's not on the score sheet, and he just kind of finds a way to put pucks in the net and make plays, and he's just unbelievably smart player. And I think Rupe Hintz, I also think he could be the most underrated player in the league. He can do everything so fast. He can score, he can make plays, he's great defensively, can play on the penalty kill. He can really do everything.
There's a lot of skill around you right now, and there's more on the horizon. I know you don't have context for this, and I get it, and I know you're a rookie in the NHL, but do you ever catch yourself in moments of the day and say, wow, like I'm in the NHL and I've scored 20 goals, and I know sometimes it's difficult and you don't have that perspective maybe until you retire, but like, do you ever catch yourself just saying like I'm in the NHL, man, and I'm in the conversation for the Rookie of the Year? Like, do you ever allow yourself to go to that place in your head?
Yeah, it happens, probably a fair amount. It's so crazy to me. Just kind of especially the last few years, like 2 years ago, I wasn't playing hockey, COVID, missed a full year, and now I'm just kind of, living my dream and playing in the NHL. It's, what I've worked for so long, and it's just amazing. I have to pinch myself sometimes, and it's awesome. I've just been trying to enjoy it. It's just a dream come true, and it happens fairly often that I just kind of think, like I'm in the NHL. It's crazy, and I don't think I've really gotten used to it yet.
I hope you always have that feeling, because it's got to be really cool. Wyatt, thanks so much for this. Continued success. Your team's grooving. Fun to watch.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Let me ask you about Wyatt Johnston.
Yeah.
What were your expectations of him at the beginning of the season? Like, as we're recording this right now, he's a 20-goal scorer.
Yeah.
When you saw him in training camp, and I know you really liked him, and I know we all remember the press conference, you stumping for him.
Yeah.
What were your expectations of Wyatt this year?
Boy, I didn't know. I mean, I've had a lot of young players. This is my 15th, 16th year in the NHL. So every year there's a young player that everyone's excited about that you put in the lineup. And, I can tell you my first impression of Wyatt Johnston, I walked in, he was on the bike at development camp. He wasn't skating because he was injured or coming off an injury. And, I mean, he looked like a high school kid, his physique, everything. I mean, he didn't look even close to being ready to be an NHL player. And he came back 3 months later for training camp, or two and a half months later, and started to look the part a little bit more, even though he still doesn't. He's still a kid. I tell people that it's hard to put perspective on what he's accomplished. The best perspective I get is Joe Pavelski was still at the University of Wisconsin. Jason Robertson was still playing junior hockey. And this guy's scoring 20 goals in the NHL this year, and he's playing against McDavid, and I'm not hiding him defensively or for face-offs. He's just he's an exceptional talent, and I think he's going to be a captain of this franchise down the road. He's an exceptional kid. And when you meet his family, you realize why he's probably so special. But, I didn't predict this. I'm sure as hell happy it's happened, because he's been a difference maker for us and for a lot of guys in that room.